This is Season 4, Episode 36 of In Touch with Terri, a podcast for aesthetic professionals. This episode is titled, How to Use Video to Grow Your Practice.
Video is the only marketing tool that's multisensory. I see you, I hear you, I get to feel you. If you're good on camera, the number one thing anyone has to remember with being on camera or being on stage is your job is to make someone feel something. That emotional connection is so important. And again, it's visual, it's audio, it's all the things. And here's the kicker though, you only have 3 to 8 seconds to keep and capture someone's attention on video. To get the conversion that I know all business owners, practices are looking for, you need to know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in so many different businesses, like we get into ego, we get into what do we look like, what do we sound like, and we get all up in our head, and you can't be in your head and heart at the same time, and your heart is what converts people online.
Welcome to In Touch with Terri, our power-packed podcast for the medical aesthetic industry that brings you expertise, authenticity, more importantly, real solutions that have proven to increase profitability, attract, convert, and retain more patients, and feature some of the top industry experts as guests. Hi, I'm Terri Ross, former Fortune 500 executive, international speaker, and founder and CEO of Apex by Terri Ross and Terri Ross Consulting. Today's podcast is amazing and something, you guys, that I know you're always asking me what I do, how do I get on stage, like how am I not afraid? So I am super excited to introduce and be joined by my ride or die best friend, CEO, badass entrepreneur of Inspired Living, Keri Murphy. Hi, Keri.
Hi, honey.
Hey, girl.
Happy to be here today.
Oh,
Yay.
my God. Me too. Welcome. I know we've been talking about this forever. So thank you so much for making time today.
Of course.
So I'm going to read a little bit about Keri's bio, and then I'm going to have her dive in a little bit about you. But you guys, grab a glass of wine, get a pen and paper, coffee, whatever you're doing. You're not going to want to miss this because, look, coming out of COVID, and I hate to keep talking about that, and I know you do too, but we can't operate our businesses the way we used to, right? We know the definition of insanity, and it's doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, and we just can't do it. But I know that video and being on video is so critical, but so freaking scary. And take me, I am a true testament because Keri's my best friend, but I have sat in on her courses. I have done the work. So if you guys see me on stage, a lot of it I have to attribute to Keri's teachings. So Keri is the CEO and founder of Inspired Living. She is committed to empowering women and people and entrepreneurs and providers, anybody who needs to be on camera all over the world. Keri, welcome, and tell us a little bit about your philosophy and what Inspired Living means.
Oh, Terri, first of all, again, thank you so much for having me. I love you so much. And I have to say, not only do you kill it on stage, but girl, you kill it on camera. I got to say.
Boom. I had some expert help.
But you're just such a great testament, right? That video is a muscle. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Just like, what you do. There's no way on God's green earth, like I could do what you do. And that's where we have to be willing to be innovative and to do things differently now more than ever. And you and I both know, everyone knows, like, this is where it's at right here, between the camera lenses, online, virtual. And even though things are opening up, we're still meeting here. We're Googling, we're looking for providers. We're looking for what it is that we need to look better, feel better. And where do we go? We Google. I know I do, or I go to you. And so no matter what industry you're in, at Inspired Living, we truly believe you can get seen, get known, and be paid for your brilliance in the world, no matter what industry you're in. And I always say it is noisy. There's a lot of people online, but it's only noisy if you don't know your frequency, if you don't know how to show up as an expert, how to be clear with your message, and how to take people from followers, I say stalkers, to followers, to fans, to buyers. And that's what we do at Inspired Living. We take amazing entrepreneurs, business owners, practitioners, doctors, attorneys, like you name it, and we really help them stand out as that go-to expert in their industry, because that's what people are looking for and that's what people are buying.
I want to repeat that back, and I want you to repeat a couple things. I think, Keri, what I heard you say is be seen, be known, and get paid. And please write that down, you guys, because I know as a consultant, I'm going to ask Keri some questions about statistics in a few minutes, but I know that nobody wants to read, right? Adult learning, we have ADD, we have a very short attention span. We're reading so much copy on the website. And I know, and I've worked with my producer, Tim, as well, to shoot phenomenal video. But a lot of providers, that's not what their strength is. They're scared to be on camera. They don't know what to say. There's no script. It's not produced well. And I know we have these amazing iPhones now, and it's much easier to do. But I'd love for my tribe, right? Terri's tribe, my audience, my community, to know a little bit about your background. How did you start Inspired Living, and how did you get into video and really being that, your zone of genius?
The short and quick of it is, Terri, is that I started begging my mom to get me into modeling and acting classes when I was about 8 or 9. And it's funny, as we know, we have little girls right now. And Lauren yesterday said, Mom, I want my own kids channel. I'm like, stop it. Okay. So anyway, I digress. And so after hearing that for so long, my mom put me into a local modeling and acting school up in Portland where I was raised. And you know what, Terri, growing up in the 80s, I really wanted to be a supermodel. God had other plans for me. The Italian gene won. But I did fall in love with being on camera. And as I matured and started building businesses, which I started my first business at 23, I always used video to grow my business. I was doing commercials. I was the local go-to expert, like way before we had these amazing platforms we have today where there's no barrier to entry, there's little or no cost, and you don't have to audition. Like all the things that I had to do. And yet I always had a 6-figure business. And being in my 20s or a solopreneur, like that's a big thing, right?
Of course, huge.
And so
Absolutely.
I always loved being on camera. I just didn't really understand the power or the vehicle or where that was going to lead me. And then I bought a talent agency at 27. That little talent agency I went through as a young girl, I ended up buying. And we got it to almost $1 million company when the 2008 recession hit. And probably like so many of maybe your tribe, Terri, is that I was forced to figure out what was next, right? And I think sometimes God, universe, whatever you believe, like we have to lose it all, like to be able to gain something greater. And for me, losing the talent agency was absolutely devastating. I remember it like yesterday, but my gift is seeing talent in people, seeing possibility in people, and helping people understand really their brilliance and their potential. And I do that through teaching them how to be on camera. I have 10 coaches on my team, but I will never forget the moment, Terri, where I was new into the coaching world and I was watching one of the big coaches on camera. And I was like, ay. Like it was scary. So cheesy. Yeah. It was so inauthentic. Like someone told her to just smile more. And it was that super, hi, I'm so happy you're here today. Hi, everyone. I'm going to teach you 3 things that are going to change your life. And I was like, that's not authentic.
I don't want to do that.
No, that was my aha moment. And from there, 10 years now I've had Inspired Living. We continue to grow and to clarify, what we do and who we serve. But really at the end of the day, we do teach people, how to be seen, be known, and be paid for their brilliance. And we work with all sorts of business owners and practitioners. And it really comes down to helping them stand out and be visible. Because like you said, we all have ADD. And in fact, people are 79% more likely to buy a product or service after watching a video. 79%. So if I'm Googling, right, for a doctor, a surgeon, someone in the aesthetic space, let's face it, there's a ton of competition. It doesn't matter what your market is, 79% more likely after watching a video. So there's such huge potential.
Yeah, I love that. I want to do something. And I think we learned this at your course that if we're going to shoot this on video, you guys are going to see my face. What about the videos that are like smiling and they're like, are you feeling sad today? But I'm actually
hate the way you look.
But we're actually smiling. Let's not do that, guys. Okay. We don't want you to do that. Keri's going to walk us through the steps of video, which I think is so important. So you guys, Keri said 79%. So if you're not showing up to be seen, to be known, you're just missing the boat. Okay. So get out of your comfort zone. Keri's going to walk us through some tips to not be afraid, how to do it, what's so important to be on video, where we are showing up authentic. Even Keri, part of, again, being on video is helping people be on stage. And I will say, I feel like I'm like the Terri T, like the Gary V, right? You have people, I swear, I just keep it real because that is my style. It's who I am. There's too much kind of BS in this industry. And I always want to, like you, bring value and bring confidence and make an impact and make a difference.
And you do.
Thank you, love. And so do you. Other than the statistics about, video converting higher, why else do you think video over anything else is important, and why should somebody want to invest in getting to be good at doing it?
It's such a good question. Well, Terri, when you think about, and we both love podcasts, we both have podcasts, they're really awesome, but still video is the only marketing tool that's multisensory. I see you, I hear you, I get to feel you. If you're good on camera, the number one thing anyone has to remember with being on camera or being on stage is your job is to make someone feel something. That emotional connection is so important. And again, it's visual, it's audio, it's all the things. And here's the kicker though, you only have 3 to 8 seconds to keep and capture someone's attention on video. In fact, with anything, with copy, with audio, like people, like you said, we're so ADD, right. We're in content confusion. There's so much out there. So this is the key point, if I may share, Terri, that to be amazing on video, to get the conversion that I know all business owners, doctors, practices are looking for, you need to know who you're talking to. Yeah. And unfortunately, in so many different businesses, like we get into ego, we get into what do we look like, what do we sound like, and we get all up in our head, and you can't be in your head and heart at the same time. And your heart is what converts people online. And this is even for someone who is a super recognized, amazing, let's say high-end doctor or owns a really, big practice. They still want to see someone that cares about them and can answer their questions and shows up compassionate and caring. And so you have to know that one person you're talking to. And the same thing actually is when you're on stage. The difference between stage and video is energy. Yeah. Right? When you're on stage, that energy comes right back to you. When you're on camera, you have to almost make it up. I say video is dialogue. It's not a monologue. Yeah. And yet people just talk at the lens. They just talk about themselves. They have no idea who they're talking to. And it doesn't resonate. And that's why less than 25% of business owners are using video effectively.
Oh my God, those are crazy statistics. But I'm listening to you so intently because everything you just said about video is almost a direct correlation of what I teach when I'm on stage or in the sales training process. Like, what is your why? Who is your avatar client? And what is the demographic of your client, right? We can't want to be, talking to a millennial and then our photos are baby boomers, right? So it's really understanding the age range, how often they come in, what do they spend? Is it for one procedure? Is it another? And we're able to and can probably better articulate that, not just in a printed branded piece, but in voice. And then in whatever those procedures are, which obviously I'm all about profitability, but taking video to promote those procedures that make the most money. Right.
Yeah. And you know what, Terri, too, that I love that you said, authenticity, it's a word that's just thrown around, like bathwater, but it really is the differentiator and understanding what that means for you, the practice owner, the doctor, like whoever's showing up. And I will say, being someone who's in her 40s, who's actually looking for all the things that your tribe offers, it is one thing to say, hi, I'm Dr. So-and-so, and I do all these amazing surgeries and look at my results and I am a board certified and we are amazing. That's one approach. Okay, that's cool. But if you said something like, I get it. Getting older is not easy. You start looking in the mirror and you see things that you never saw before, nor do you really want to. And you're trying to figure out what's the solution. Is it Botox? Is it filler? Is it lasers? Is it face lift? Like you have all the questions. And I want you to know that I'm here to help you answer them. That when we sit down and talk with you, we're going to figure out what's important to you, what you don't like, what you do. Like, do you see the approach? It is so
I'm sold already. I'm sold. Right? Sign me up.
I'm so-and-so. and I'm amazing. Like no one cares. No one cares. And this is where I will say most people get it wrong, is that they talk about themselves before I know that there's someone I should listen to.
Right. No, I love that. And it's value. And like you said, because I say the same thing when we're talking about a consultation, get to my emotions. Yes. And you said that just about the use of video, that I can actually connect with you and be like, God, they are trustworthy. Yes. Their before and afters match what they're saying. I love that so much. And God, you just did a phenomenal job. That's why you do what you do. That was amazing.
Thanks, honey. Well, you know what? I love what you shared there too, because so much in business, we look at demographic, right? Which is all the kind of the outside characteristics that, you know, what type of home does she live in and how many children does she have and how old is she? And all of those things are relevant and important. But when it comes to video, what's more important is what you just said, which is psychographic. Yes. How does she feel? What does she want? What has she tried that hasn't worked? Why are you the answer to the prayer? You know, and this is it. Like, that's how you show up. That's how you start your videos. You help me alleviate a pain, or you help me step into possibility. Here's another example.
I love that.
Wouldn't it feel so good that instead of getting up in the morning and dreading at looking in the mirror, you actually get up and admire what you see? How do I do that?
I love your voice too. It's like a pillow talk voice.
Thank you very much. I'm channeling your producer, Tim, right now. You know, instead of you need Botox, I have cool sculpting. Like, I don't care because I don't know how that helps me. Right? So it's all about how you position what it is that you're doing. And I'm telling you guys, if you implement a fraction of what I'm telling you right now, you are going to rise to the top of your industry, because people will think that you know them, that you care about them, and that you can help them get the result that they're looking for.
I mean, I almost feel like you're literally speaking my whole sales course, because we're saying, no, again, granted, she's my best friend, for God's sakes. We're not, maybe we're in each other's head all the time.
That's right. Exactly.
But I'm loving that there's such a direct correlation with both things. You can't, and what I love, and I always teach these 7 steps, right, to a multi 7 or 8 figure business, and the 7 steps to the patient experience. And people will say, well, Terri, do I have to do all 7? Well, yeah, you have to do all 7,
Can
right?
I just do one?
So we can't just do video and then have a shitty website, right?
No.
Or we have a great website with no video. I mean, it really all that brand aware, right? That brand awareness, your perceived value, your why, because as we know in this industry, and I say this often, it is highly competitive. It is a commodity, but what's not a commodity is you. How you show up, right? What you say, how you get people to be drawn into you. Keri, let's talk about the different types of videos. And you gave us just 2 examples, which I loved. But I think that you sort of teach 5 types of videos that everyone should be using. I'd love to learn a little bit more and have the audience learn, like, what are those 5 types?
Yeah, absolutely. So we just talked about websites, and I am a big fan of brand congruency, right? So if you want to be at the leader, if you want to be the go-to expert, if you want to be the sought out, practice doctor, whatever, like, you got to show up, right? So what does that look like? And again, back to statistics, that websites that have a positioning video, that's a video on top of the page. I don't have to scroll. It's 90 seconds or less, the same video we did for you, where you tell me in that amount of time why I'm there, why you, what you do, how you do it, and the next step for me to take, which seems like a lot to cover, but in 90 seconds, it's actually more time than you think. Like, it really positions you. The whole point of social media is to get people off social media. Right. You build out this great site, you need to get people on it to book consults, to convert, right? And so that video, having that video on your website will convert at over 82% better.
Okay, so one video. So you said positioning.
Positioning.
Okay.
And we have tested this because we do master classes and we do launches. We added videos to our registration page and our thank you page, and our conversions went up 80%.
No way.
Opt-ins. It was unbelievable.
I better do that.
Unbelievable. Practice what I preach.
I better go do that.
And it's important. Again, like, this is the video that I think should be done well. You should hire probably someone to come into you, or go, like, come work with me for 2 days. There are ways to do it. I do not recommend shooting this on your iPhone. There's a lot of things you can. This is not one of them, because this is where you're positioning yourself as the answer to their prayer, right? And we want to really show up as an authority. The second one, and what I consider the heartbeat of everyone's business, is personality. Now, I know for some of your tribe, Terri, this is going to sound like a stretch because no one wants to look silly. No one wants to look stupid. Everyone wants to look like, they spend all day on a yacht, doing nothing but like surgeries, and then they go out and have this glamorous life. But what I will say is this: people buy people, not things. I'm going to say that again. People buy people, not things. They're not buying the cool sculpting. They're buying the person that's administering it, that tells them they're going to get the result when they do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is all about that know, like, and trust factor, especially in aesthetics and in your space. So this video, personality videos, here's, I do see doctors and practices showing behind the scenes before I go into surgery, before and afters, what I am like with my kids, what I'm like on vacation, what I'm like in the middle of my day. Again, it just creates that bond that, yes, you're not just in your scrubs showing me before and afters, but you're showing me a glimpse into your life, and you get to share how much you want to expose, but this is where you get to be vulnerable, transparent, and this is when people buy into you because they're buying you. You might have a lot of different things you offer, but if your name is outside the practice, like, they're buying you,
100%.
So I think that's important. So personality videos, I consider those the behind the scenes of what's happening in your life, quite frankly. It shouldn't all be business because no one cares. All right. The third one is you need promotional videos. You need videos that sell your stuff, right? So don't just tell me to go buy it. Like, tell me why. Give me the what's in it for me, and then walk me through the process. And again, these videos, it's so funny, Terri, because working with entrepreneurs for the last 10 years, we will teach and we will give and we will do personality videos, but heaven forbid we ask for the sale, And the thing is, if people don't get it from you, they're going to go find it somewhere else. So this is really coming down to more of like servant leadership. I think if you really think the more people I help, the more I'm going to get what I want. Right. And so it's your job to really help people get the solution and help them get the right solution. So you need to have promotional videos. All right. It sounds silly or easy, but most people don't do them. And so people don't take action. And then there is product videos. And what this could be in your space, Terri, is either some sort of training, some sort of behind the scenes, an online training about something. I do believe no matter what space you're in, there's a way to leverage your expertise like you do so well. And so these are things that can either be online courses or it is actually content. Like, to me, product is something that I digest. So for me, my product videos are my weekly vlogs that go out. And for your doctors and your practice providers, it could be one tip. It could be showing me how to do something. It can be something, again, that's building trust on that regular basis. So that's what I call product videos. And the last one, which is so huge in this space, is proof. Social proof videos. Get your clients, get your patients talking about you, talking about the experience, talking about the results, talking about how happy they are. You can tell me how amazing you are, but when I hear it from someone else over and over again, then you are edifying, right? All the things that you spend your time and energy doing on the marketing and advertising, and other people are doing the selling for you.
I love that. Okay. I didn't even realize it was like all the P's.
It's all P's. I love my iterations.
But it's all this, the 5 P's of marketing and all the things, right? No, I want to repeat it back because, again, whether it's video or for anybody that's listening that is a provider, it's almost, again, it is so indicative. So she said the 5 videos were positioning, 80% conversion that you had, right? Yes. When you did that, I love that. Personality, promotional, product, and proof. That is so important. And you teach people obviously on how to do all of these different types of videos. Yes.
Yes. And where to put them and how to put them and what's the content calendar. And I mean, this is probably making people's eyes roll back. Like, this sounds like it's so much
oh God,
work.
It's a ton.
But actually, you and I both know you can do this in one production day a month, right? So this is about leveraging what you do, not creating more work for you.
I love that. Okay. Now listen, you are always Mrs. Glamour Queen with the Lumi lights, and we take all these photos together, which I'm sure you guys have seen us together. She looks always so good right now on the Zoom. So stunning. So what are the magic effects of being on video, all the little fancy toys, And then you mentioned authenticity, where again, that can be just thrown around. But what are the effects that we can look amazing? And then how do you help somebody just really bring out their authentic self?
Okay, well, I have to just be really, really honest today. I'm probably on less than 5 hours sleep. So I have
whatever
to
the
say,
makeup that is, that it's
my
really
number one
doing it,
go-to,
Justin, girl.
it's called concealer. It's called concealer.
Love it.
And actually, Terri, as you know, I launched a beauty brand, IL Beauty, because so many of my clients would say, Keri, if you just had a kit that I could buy and you could teach me how to apply it. Because I think honestly, the eyes, powder, all those things, contour, I think it's really important that you look like you. But you want to look and feel like the best version of you. So I do have the eye kit that we sell. But I will say, just, concealer, some powder does wonder. Even for the gentlemen out there, powder goes a long way. But other than that, right now I'm sitting in my home office where there's a lot of windows, but I have two lights. So there's something called 3-point lighting. It's old school and we don't really use it that much anymore. But if you notice, if you look deeper, I have a ring light to my right. I have a fill light to my left. It's this, watch the difference. Look at that. Look.
Wow.
I know for those of you that are listening, you're going to have to go back and watch the video because you'll see a massive difference,
amazing.
Right?
Yes.
And then I didn't want my dark background, so I turned on a lamp behind me. So I really am using 3-point lighting and it's super cheap. Like I have a ring light and this little LED panel. By the way, on my website, because this is what I get asked all the time, we have put together a Be Studio Ready guide. It walks you through all the equipment, everything that you need from beginner to advanced, how to set up your office or studio. You want to have depth of field. Like I can go on and on. Just go download the guide. It's free and it's really good.
Oh my God, you guys, this is such good shit. I'm probably going to download it myself. Well, Keri, this was such a phenomenal episode. I mean, I love you more than you'll ever know, right? Our kids have grown up together. We're down the street from each other. We're with each other, drinking wine, brainstorming about her business, my business. How do we help each other? How do we just, again, I know her philosophy is the same as mine, and it really is to impact lives. And that is what you are doing. And I'm so proud of you. You have grown exponentially. You're doing these live launches. You're helping people around the world. And I really think that there's significant value. So you guys, I hope you took away so many things from this, and that if you're not doing video, you must. Keri, where can our tribe find you, reach out to you, get a hold of you, stalk you?
All of the above. Thank you, Terri, so much. That means the world to me. You know how much I love you. I would say the easiest way, go get that guide. I have to say it's really helpful. And that's at inspiredliving.tv, like television, the old thing we used to watch. So go there, get the guide, connect with me on Instagram. We're always on there as well. And I will say that if any of your tribe reaches out to us and says, I'm part of Terri's tribe, we will take great care of you. We will give them a discount on our products and services. We do offer a video conversion masterclass every 8 weeks that is insanely amazing. Like it's this content on steroids. So that's a great place for people to start as well. But before I let you go, I want everyone to remember this. The more you try to be perfect, the less I can connect with you. Mm-hmm. And this is where we really get stuck. Like if there's any takeaway, like you asked me about authenticity, stop thinking about you and think about the person you can help. Mm-hmm. Like every time you press record, I want you to think of that one person. Do what you need to do, get camera ready, feel good about yourself, and then forget about yourself. And really speak through the lens. Don't speak at it. It's just a conduit to that person on the other side. When you remember that you're not reaching millions, you're not saying hello everyone, you're speaking to one person at a time, the fear starts to dissipate a little bit. And you start to feel like, oh my God, I'm just talking to one person. I'm talking to my favorite, client or, my favorite person who I know needs this so bad. And I'm just going to speak to her today. The other thing that you will get from that is that, oh my God, you're talking to me. And there's no greater compliment than that. So I just wanted to share that because I think it's so easy to get stuck in perfection, especially in an industry where like your goal is to help people look great and beautiful and feel good. But the more you show up authentic, the more I will choose to work with you and buy from you. And I will be a lifetime
I love that, Keri. Thanks for sharing. And I know that I am so honored, so humble, so inspired by all of my listeners and all of my tribe and people that I think we are in our fourth season. And, I continue to learn by all the feedback I get, everybody's sharing. But where I want to leave that off with, Keri, is what you just said, is that I am you. For anybody listening who's never done video and you're afraid or you're scared, what Keri said is, if you have something to offer and something to say, just be yourself, right? Because people are buying that. Because I was that person 10 years ago. Tim is my producer. He produces the podcast. You guys that know me way back, I had a medical spa in Beverly Hills. I was terrified to do video. Terrified. And then, when my speaking took off. So just know that if I can do it, all of you can do it. And it is going to elevate your business, elevate your brand, and you're going to reach more people. So Keri, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing your wealth of knowledge and your expertise with the tribe. And I hope that you guys can reach out to Keri again, inspiredliving.tv. And if you loved this episode and you enjoyed it, please share it with a friend. Follow us on Instagram, Terri Ross Consulting. And if you're interested to learn more about our demo, you can visit our apexplatform.com. So love you guys so much. I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to In Touch with Terri. For more information regarding Apex, the aesthetic game changer, visit apexplatform.com. That's apexplatform.com. We'll include links to everything in the episode notes, including links to all of the ways that you can follow Terri Ross Consulting on all social media platforms. Please don't forget to subscribe to the podcast from whichever platform you might be listening from. Thanks again for listening, and we look forward to you joining us on the next episode of In Touch with Terri.